Guys, it's Lonnie from jeepextreme@gmail.com, and today is where is the meat. Boom. Purchased brand new 33 1250 15 Discover tires, Cooper S TT Pros. I went with 33s. I had 35 pit bulls on another previous rig and 488s. This time it's 33s, 456s, and put an Auburn locker in the front. 488s is great. There's really nothing wrong with it. However, top speed is like 65. You're pushing it. Stock Dana 30 high pinion, through 8.25. I will upgrade axle shafts down the road whenever I have the money to do it, because honestly I'm just like everybody else. I have to work and sell and everything else to do what I gotta do. So I'm trimming these fenders right now, and I wanted to show you guys what I'm doing. I've done this a few times, so I've got the hang of it pretty good. Just taking a angle grinder and grinding off the fender edge all the way around. You can pretty much eye this spot. A lot of people act like you can't, but most people can surely just eye that off, and just follow the line. Pretend it exists. Basically, I cut off, if you look at it, I just cut off this whole lip section right here, right at that edge, and just went right along it all the way down. Now I may end up changing something. Well, obviously I'm going to be running my own tube fenders down the road here. I actually got another video I'm going to make of why I chose what tube bender I did, and stay tuned for that video. And I hope to be making tube fenders, roll cages down the road, way down the road on that, but just some things to maybe sell to make up the price of what I spent on the tube bender. Inside, obviously, you see you got a lip in here, and it is spot welded. It's actually part of the unibody. The worst thing you could do, in my opinion, is cut any of this out. If anything, what you do is you cut like a slot in there and fold it, which I may end up doing, because I'll probably end up having to do that. I think I did it on my other rig, and just getting it out of the way so I have enough room and I'm not hitting anything there, because that stuff is a little sharp. So and just tucking it, but do not cut it out. It's spot welded. It's there for a reason. It's structurally part of the vehicle. So cut slots, fold. On the back, I just cut this little, well, let me get out of the way of the light, little spot, little channel right there. It's on the lip of this. Obviously you can't go as deep, so what I'm going to do is cut up about ½ an inch all the way along. Cut, small cuts, bigger cuts, small cuts on the corners, bigger cuts, and fold in. Obviously I need to cut that part off, but anyway, fold it all in and I'll be good there. The offset on the wheels is going to throw my wheels out a little bit, and that's good, because it's 3 3/4 inch to 4, in my opinion, is the best back spacing you can have as far as getting your wheels out, so you can actually run a bigger tire. I'm running, if you've seen my videos, I'm running Tactic wheels. They're 15x8s, and I'm running a 1250 wide tire, so it's a big tire on an 8-inch rim. Probably would have gone with a 1050 if I could have found a 1050 and a 33. Makes a 1050 is almost, well, it's no name brand hardly. Goodyear MTRs used to make a 1050 and a 33. They are expensive, but I pretty much was dead set on these Cooper tires, and boy, look at the lugs on them, man. I mean, that is some freaking lugs. So rotate, don't want to screw them up. And obviously, I think you guys in the last video I told you that I was doing a long arm lift, IRO, long arm lift, which is going to get my caster and camber on my front axle right. It's a little bit off. It's going to pull up this front a little bit more and line it all up. So it's meant to do it from the factory at IRO at 4 inches and up to 8, they say. So this is basically what about a 5-inch front lift. By the time I add all my crap on this thing, it is going to be a lot more weight on this vehicle. Front bumpers, you know, side fenders, tubed, and armor underneath, the whole works. And then to top it off, roof rack, rear swing arm carrier, roll cage down the road, whatever, exo cage. I'm probably gonna make a small exo cage. Nothing that's gonna block where I can't get inside the front and work on the engine or anything, but I can't stand that about things. I like to make things to where they're easy to work on. With the project name, I didn't get too many replies on one of the posts that I had made up as far as what to name it, so I came up with a name myself, and you'll see why in the future. But it is Project Armor Charmer, the Armor Charmer. I like it, and my wife actually came up with it. I thought it was pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. So there is the rest of the tires. Smells like I got a tire shop in my garage. So stick with me, and we'll get to finishing up trimming on this bad boy. You guys to cut through your spot welds on whenever you make these cuts all the way across. Don't make them through your spot welds. Try to skip that. Like, there's a spot weld there, you can barely see it, but there's spot welds, so try not to cut through them. Almost did there actually, so just don't cut through them because that's part of your structural integrity. And just make incisions, you know. Now these aren't the prettiest. I cut them on up. The main reason I'm stopping early is I just don't want to cut up inside the fender well there. I've only got so much. I noticed if you go about to here or a little past there, like you can go further down here and fold, but up along this ridge where that fender well is, you can only go so far. So stay tuned. Yeah, I'm using a regular hammer, not a rubber hammer or whatever the fancy hammer people use. Using a regular hammer, you know, as long as you get those slits up, don't go up too high with them, but start low and work your way up to the right level. As you can see, like, well, you may not be able to see it from where you're at, but some of the slits I did back here, they're a little bit sticking out, just a tad. So if you're actually going to do this and you're not going to put fender flares on, which honestly would be stupid, because I'd want some kind of fender flare if I had an offset of any kind on it. But like I said, I'm not getting too picky with it. I'm not tearing it up, but I'm not getting too picky. And just kind of giving it tapping it in. Line right there. basically same thing on this side. Trim. Went pretty quick. Kind of grind off the burrs, whatnot, and starting on the back. I've got it all done. I want to clarify to you, when I was making this earlier, when I was talking about gears, I chose Revolution gears. A little info on them. They're really, the owner of Revolution gears, I'm guessing what I've kind of heard is superior axles. Another thing is their main gear ring is made in Korea, just like Yukon is, instead of China or whatever. So they have better gears quality from what I'm hearing. Revolution gears. I chose the package with the that has an install package with it and everything. It was like $400 basically, front and rear. 456s for a Dana 30 and 8.25. So I'll be installing those, and then my Auburn locker up front. Obviously, since I have a high opinion Dana 30 or a Dana 30 period, you have 27 spline front axles on all Dana 30s. Then to top it off, you have, if you go with a lower gear ratio, and I have 355 gears right now, you're going to have to switch the carrier out because it won't handle anything lower gear ratio than a 355. So you'll have to switch it out. You have to have a 373 and up carrier. So basically I was like, well, do I want to spend $70 on a carrier, or do I want to just go ahead and get the locker, put the locker in and be done with it, because the locker comes with the carrier and whatnot. So I chose that option to get the locker in and get this done on the front. So I'll be done completely with the front axle, except for in the future I'll probably want to truss it or maybe do something, but it is just a Dana 30 and I'm not going to put a bunch into it. So that's a little info on that. Happy Jeeping, don't sell your Jeep, and stick with me for a future build.